So, Deepwoken still has a Voidwalker problem. About 5 months ago, I made a video called Deepwoken's Voidwalker Problem and how to fix it. Before I made that video, and in the video itself, I talked about the fact that I had spoken to one of the owners of the game, Archmage, behind the scenes, about the Voidwalker issue. And he had basically assured me, and we had a long conversation about how a lot of the stuff that I had been talking about would almost certainly be addressed. 5 months later, yeah, we still got a whole lot of problems. Now granted, some of the most egregious things that came to Voidwalker were addressed relatively quickly after my videos on it. The most important one is that it doesn't require you to go kill 15 freshly spawned players in Lower Aricia in order to actually unlock the origin itself. And yeah, don't even give me that, oh, you could have killed other people. No, everyone's going to kill fresh spawns. Just be honest with yourself here. Now, that's all well and good, but the fundamental issue with Voidwalker was unfortunately never addressed. And that fundamental issue is the sheer disparity of the effect of a Voidwalker player on someone that's relatively new or inexperienced versus the effect on somebody who's been playing the game for a long time. I have been told that it was coded into the game that people that haven't reached Power 10 at any point on their account yet won't show up on the Voidwalker board, but getting to Power 10 isn't particularly impossible, and this feels like a failed band-aid at best. Regardless, let me try to give you some examples to explain exactly how just colossally flawed the Voidwalker system is. Okay, so let's say I'm a power level 15, and I'm wandering through the Songseeker Wilds fighting NPCs. I hear a Voidwalker teleport to me, and I go, oh shit, a Voidwalker. At this point, I have absolutely no information. I have no idea where the Voidwalker is going to come from. I have no idea what level the Voidwalker is. I have no idea what build the Voidwalker is going to have. Not only that, but if I'm an inexperienced player, I might not even know what the Voidwalker teleporting in sounds like. Or the Voidwalker might use the teleport that doesn't make any noise. So if we're assuming that I did hear the Voidwalker teleport in, I have a few choices. I could wait around until they show up, try to fight them, probably lose a life, lose my gear, get frustrated and maybe quit, or I could push this little button right here.
Amazing, mission complete.
Yeah, this thing is the problem with Voidwalkers, and the reason why making Voidwalkers punishing is fucking stupid. I'm sorry, it's just dumb. If you hear a Voidwalker, this button is optimal. Why is that the case? There is a large proportion of the Deepwoken community that must think that this is okay, because any time that any sort of changes are leveled towards the harshness of getting killed by a Voidwalker are leveled, they have a heart attack. So you're telling me that these people would rather go Voidwalk on someone and then have them quit the game so they don't get their PvP fight or anything, rather than just making it better for everybody? What? Now, we were just speaking about that hypothetical, relatively inexperienced Power 15 player who's either going to get slaughtered by the Voidwalker because they don't know how to PvP, they don't have any real good chances to PvP, and when people do show up to PvP, their first instinct is survival, not learning how to fight, something they probably won't succeed at, and they're very likely to die. Now, let's take a look at a Power 20 experienced player. If you know what you're doing, and you don't like Voidwalkers, you can just go ahead and max your reputation with all of the factions. Do this, and bada boom bada bam, you're now immune to Voidwalkers. Awesome, that's great. How many new and inexperienced players that actually, need this because they don't have a chance if a Voidwalker shows up, how many of them do you reckon are doing this? So, a Voidwalker is in the Voidheart, they decide to go to the bounty board, and they're like, who should I attack? Well, I'll pick any of these people that actually show up on the fucking bounty board. What is happening here? The Power 20 guy who's been playing for 500 hours and can fight against the Voidwalkers is able to just take himself off of the board because he knows what he's doing. But the new or inexperienced player gets ass blasted. Why is this system so heavily focused on fucking over new people? And that's probably the most confusing thing about all of this, is that the big uproar right now, as far as I've been told about Deepwoken, is that the game is too easy now. The game keeps coddling people, and it's too easy. It's not a hardcore game anymore. And what I have to say to that is, what the fuck kind of drugs are you on? You have to have absolutely zero perspective whatsoever to think that the game is too easy. The only reason, and let me just say this right now, the only reason that it's too easy for you is because you've been playing it for several months to over a year. Any game that you play for that long, you're going to optimize and get better at to the point where you can trivialize it. Are you even remotely considering anybody else other than yourself? The answer is no. Let me try to give you some perspective here. I was talking to one of my friends on Discord about this before I got on to record this video. They were telling me about how they can get to power 20 in about an hour and a half. This is someone who's been playing the game for ages, knows what they're doing, yada, yada, yada. I am not one of those people. I'm very mediocre to bad at this game. With the most recent slot that I was using in order to fight the Primadon, it probably took me 5 to 8 hours to get to power 20. That's a pretty long time for a character that you can lose in permadeath. Did it ever even remotely occur to you that maybe the problem here is the fact that you've optimized the grind to the point where you can get this stuff done in an hour and a half, whereas normal people or new people jumping in, it takes significantly longer than that? I got bad news for you. That's not because the game is not hardcore anymore. That's just because you are way, way better at breaking the game. And any amount of attempts to make the game significantly harder are just going to negatively impact every single other person who isn't a hardcore 100+ hour player. That's the bottom line. Anyways, we're so off topic now. I apologize. The question becomes, how the hell do we fix Voidwalker? And once again, the solution is just as simple as it was before. If a Voidwalker accepts a bounty, teleports to the bounty target, and knocks them out, it should teleport the person back to the Void Heart and spawn their chest there. Bada boom, bada bam. I don't see any planet how you could use this to potentially cheese, because it's not preventing the person from dying in any sort of PvP encounter. If they get knocked out and someone else shows up and decides they want to kill them, they're dead. If they get knocked out and there's a monster right there, they're dead. There's still plenty of ways that they can get killed after getting knocked out. It just seems so unbelievably mind-numbing that anybody on the planet of the Earth can think that here a Voidwalker equals log out is the best solution that we could have. I just don't understand. Or is it inactivity because we don't think that there can be a solution? So instead of trying something, we just try nothing and leave this horrifically bad system that should be really fun just out to dry? I don't get it. And that's just it. It feels like nobody's trying anything because they're afraid of making waves, and that sucks. Because I'm not here to tell you that my solution is perfect. It's just the one I came up with. I'm sure people in the comments are going to find flaws in my system and say, hey, this would work better. And that's great. I'm not coming on here saying, you need to use my solution. I'm saying there should be some solution, rather than just sitting here and leaving the game every time Voidwalkers show up. Voidwalker should be the introduction to PvP experience. New players should get attacked by Voidwalkers and learn to fight back and learn PvP via fighting against the Voidwalkers, not quitting the game when they see them. Then you just never learn to PvP, or when you do, you get some sort of track star build to run away. That's not fun for Voidwalkers. That's not fun for players. Nobody is having fun. It feels like the barrier to entry for PvP in this game is just colossal. And that's not even considering the fact that, assuming the wiki is correct, if you want to try to fight in the PvP 1v1 arena in the Chime, you have 3 lives. Well, if you're bad, you're going to lose 3 times, which means you can only practice 3 times a day before you get killed. Why? Somebody please explain this to me. Why is the barrier to entry to just learning how to fight people so colossally high? I do not get it. Like, where's the logic here? So a bad player joining the Chime is going to get obliterated 3 times and lose all their lives, so they can't play that mode anymore. But even for good players, because of ELO and skill-based matchmaking, since it's a ranked mode, you're supposed to lose 50% of your games. Okay, so in theory, if the matchmaking is working properly, you should only be able to play 6 games a day. What? I just, like, what is the thought process here? I would really, really love to know. Regardless, I am rambling at this point. We're talking about the Chime instead of Voidwalkers, so I'd better wrap things up. I know this video didn't have as much structure as the first one that I did 5 months ago, but like, how can I attempt to structure the same things that I've already said? We've had 5 months for them to potentially change things, and basically all of the problems that I talked about in that video 5 months ago that are overwhelmingly agreed upon in the comments section of the video, which has like over 100,000 views, are just sitting here unchanged. You hear a Voidwalker, you still quit the game. What? Why? Anyways, that's all. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Please, please, for the love of God, comment on this video whether you agree or disagree and why. And with that being said, I'm done, so have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.